You've probably heard the phrase, "What got you here won't get you there." And insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And we can't solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. These sayings can apply anywhere, including the church. Hello, I'm Steve Staten. Over the decades, I've served in roles as evangelist, teacher, and elder. Today, I serve as a consultant and author who specializes in mitigating threats, risks, and opportunities for organizations. In late 2018, while I was working with an LA church task force, we were discussing previous difficulties when one of the senior ministers asked, "Can you help us make sure that this kind of thing never occurs again?" 1 month later, I proposed what I'm about to explain. First, let's define how we will use the word resiliency. People often think of resilience as merely recovering or springing back. In our case, a higher sense is imagined, actually improving as a result of a disorder. The idea of growing through adversity is an ideal that is supported by scriptural imagery of the human body. In 4 of his letters, the Apostle Paul used the body to describe integration, mutual dependence, learning, and preparedness within the church. Clearly, the Apostle hoped that churches would thrive, not just survive. Let's begin with the core concept. A congregation is composed of people with a shared set of values. Over time, a story emerges, and it is continually developing, typically preserved in memories, bulletins, and maybe some brief videos. At some point, the growing community needs to pay attention to its governing systems, beyond discipling and scriptural resolution practices, to include major decision-making, legal and financial oversight, and human resources. Along the way, there will be difficult moments, but these can be mitigated, becoming lessons learned. Learning opportunities include any challenge, such as a conflict, crisis, and faith ventures, such as launching a ministry. And usually the leadership retains insight from each of these events. But here's where churches can drop the ball. The history of events and their lessons are at risk of being lost with transitions. Often there's no place where the developments are officially and openly archived. Documenting and making certain that the salient aspects of the story are available is called knowledge management. Why is this important? From time to time, the church plateaus, which is normal. In order that we don't settle for too long, it's advantageous to reflect on how we got here and pay attention to current vulnerabilities, future risks, and opportunities. By holding discussions about our 5 features, values, story, governing systems, lessons learned, and recorded knowledge, we can contemplate the next place God will lead us. The resiliency system is simply a straightforward and biblically developed approach to remind us to preserve our values, know our story, periodically review our assumptions, improve our processes, and archive our lessons learned. The system is being developed through 3 stages. Stage 1, design. Stage 2, adding rehearsal. And Stage 3, adding extensive training. Our goal here is to do our best. All of us benefit from ongoing training, from the young Christian to the aging elder. The best established practices for managing conflict, negotiating tensions, collaboration with different parties, and mitigating risk will be available in modules. After we've completed this project, we will communicate how to access the materials and how the oversight works. In closing, I ask you to imagine what could happen when we increasingly become competent navigators, use failures as learning opportunities, and see our challenges as adventures.